There's nothing quite like getting a brand new tube of Type 2 silver eagles. Oh, God. Hello everybody, Backyard Bullion here, and welcome to another Precious Metal Ramble. So I think I'm going to have to do the gotcha moment kind of now. There are no tracking chips within this tube. This is just a memory card that I've put in there because it's a joke. And that's what happened on April Fool's with 365 Days of Silver when he made his video talking about tracking devices within Eagles and monster boxes of the Type 2s. A lot of people fell for it. So I want to make a video kind of in solidarity with 365 Days of Silver because he's been called out by a fair number of people who fell for this and have wasted a lot of time on it. Some big bullion dealers fell for it, and a lot of individuals were emailing lots of other content creators going, oh my God, have you heard that there are tracking chips within the Eagles? There are no tracking chips within Silver Eagles, and the fact that I have to kind of make a video just saying that up front, I feel is kind of indicative of where we are as a stacking community. There are some people that are on the fringe of the stacking community that have quite sort of conspiratorial beliefs about these kind of things, and unfortunately it fed into those desires for those people. I feel there's a very large proportion of people, though, that haven't been particularly vocal, that didn't fall for it, and knew exactly that it was an April Fool's, because it came out on April Fool's Day, and of course it's so far-fetched that it's just not really very practical. Come on, there are no microchips embedded in a silver coin. That's just ridiculous. So, I want to talk, though, about generally, are you being tracked on your purchases of your gold and silver? Whether it not be through a microchip embedded within the coins, there is no doubt that in this modern Big Brother society, if somebody in that power position of government really wants to know whether or not you've got gold and silver, they would be able to find out pretty toot sweet. So we're going to talk a little bit about that and how we as stackers can maybe combat that, protect ourselves a little bit better than just, hiding all of our cash underneath a mattress and hoping that the Fed doesn't come knocking on our door. Come gold and silver confiscation day. Perhaps you lost it in a boating accident as well, maybe. Lots of different things to talk about. It'd be great to hear your thoughts down in the comments section below as well. And let me know whether you think 365 Days of Silver's little prank, little April Fool's was funny or disingenuous or a menace to the stacking society. Because there are quite a few people who feel that. I am not one of them. I don't feel like he owes anybody an apology. If you were, I don't really like to use the phrase stupid enough, but if you were conspiratorially minded enough to believe it at face value and then dunk your silver coins into water to try and purge it of its microchip, then that's kind of on you. It's not on 365 Days of Silver. A few people have said that he should have done kind of a gotcha moment and said, this is an April Fool's, don't worry. I can kind of agree that maybe some of them, maybe he should have just mentioned that right at the very end of the video. But quite frankly, being a content creator, I know that when you get to the sort of last 20 seconds of your videos, you've got a viewer retention rate of probably less than 10%. And most of those people are probably people who've just zoned out and gone to sleep or gone somewhere else and they're not actually watching anymore. So to have, a little disclaimer at the end of your video, it's not going to get anywhere near as many people as you think. So I'm not really chastising 365 Days of Silver here. I think he did a great job at convincing people. But those people who were convinced, I feel, are just going to be convinced regardless of what you tell them, because there is a big kind of conspiracy theory group within the stacking world who feel like the Fed is after us and the cabal of bankers at the top are wanting to know where all the silver is so they can control it and tamp it down and make sure that we are in our place, that we own nothing and will be happy. The WEF conspiratorial nonsense and all of that. So it was kind of natural to happen. And the fact that some of these big dealers out there actually fell for it and are really salty about it and calling out 365 Days of Silver, I find hilarious. And quite frankly, I think they need to have a good, long, hard look at their life choices. And if you fell for it as well, just have a real good think about the echo chamber kind of genre of material that you're watching here on YouTube. It can be very dangerous. There are a lot of pitfalls and rabbit holes that you can fall down with those kind of videos, and I just hate them. I just hate them. And I don't think that that's really what silver is about. And that's why I've always had a bit of a contrarian view to those doom and gloom naysayers. But one thing I will sort of agree with is that our silver and gold purchases are ultimately kind of all tracked unless you really do a kind of off-the-grid clandestine cash-only transaction where that cash hasn't been withdrawn from the bank recently. You've just hoarded it and hoarded it and hoarded it. Realistically, though, you kind of gonna be tracked somehow, somewhere, whether it be through a dealer. Here in the UK, for example, dealers have to register big purchases if you buy, this is not advice, this is just my knowledge of what the rules are, but if you buy one singular purchase of £5,000 or more from a dealer, they're required to take ID and pass that over to HMRC. And if you buy more than £10,000 over the course of a 12-month period, then the same applies. So that's a worry for a lot of people, and I do see a lot of people put up posts questioning that. And why do I have to give ID if I'm buying gold and silver? It's because of anti-money laundering regulations. It's not necessarily about tracking you and making sure that they know where the gold and silver is so that when time comes to reclaim it all and confiscate it from you, they know where to go. That's not at all what it's about. It's about money laundering and making sure that everything is above board. And likewise, if you take a large sum of silver or gold to any reputable bullion dealer, they will probably ask you for proof of purchase and ownership because they don't want to be handling stolen goods. It's all about transparency. That's what it's about. But don't get yourself fooled that if push came to shove, the government could find out very quickly who owns your gold and silver. That's not something that we can ignore, and it is something that is happening. You know, banks are all over these kind of things. They don't like these kind of transactions. If you put the reference of gold or silver on your bank's transfers these days, there's a very high chance that it will get blocked. And it's just happening more and more. It's happening such that I find it almost impractical to do the buyers club right now. Because every time I try and tell someone to make a bank's transfer for something, their bank seems to tell them no. They just don't want to do it, which is, I think, ridiculous. You should be able to spend your own money in how you want to do it. But a lot of people struggle with that. So what can we do as stackers to best protect ourselves from this kind of intrusion, which I know a lot of people don't like, and I don't like the intrusion of my privacy as much as the next person, but the realistic nature of the modern world that we live in is that everything is kind of tracked. We know it. And if you watch a bunch of silver videos on YouTube, there's going to be a trail of that. If you have a social media presence talking about silver on the Silver Forum or Facebook, you're going to be tracked. Someone will know, someone will find it if they ever needed to. Now, realistically, the only way to sort of protect yourself if you're looking to purchase a lot of stuff is to do it in cash. But again, you're going to have to take that cash out of the bank at some point, and that then might point to large purchases made off the books, which could potentially open up a whole can of worms if you are not being fully truthful about things like capital gains tax, if you're making profits, or even if you're trading and you're not actually reporting your sales as income. Definitely don't do that. There will be a big hammer coming down on you from the tax man if that happens, and that's life-changing. So not worth trying to save a few bucks or just trying to stay off the grid. It's just not possible. All we can do is just work with the systems that we've got. We can enjoy our silver, we can stack our silver, we can make money on our silver and gold in due course. Just try to stay grounded in this world of crazy conspiracy theories. And remember that if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. And if it sounds too outlandish to be true, like a microchip within a silver eagle, come on. You don't even need someone to say, haha, gotcha, April Fools on that. That's just absolutely ridiculous. Even if they are as convincing as 365 Days of Silver was. So, yeah. Last thing I'll just say is a big congratulations to 365 Days of Silver because he's just hit 10,000 subscribers and he's giving away one of our 10-ounce bars, kind of like the 10-ounce bar that we have up for a giveaway over on the Silver Forum. There are links in the description box below to 365 Days of Silver's channel, as well as the Silver Forum, where you can enter to potentially win this collaboration bar with Silver Angel Pouring to celebrate 10 years of the Silver Forum. Thank you very much for watching, especially to all my Backyard Bullion Ramblers, and to the Cool Kids Club members, I say, you are super cool. Thanks for watching, we'll see you on the next one. And hopefully you won't find the microchip within your silver eagles.